We have got 2 days of craziness coming up on us, and each day is going to involve a bunch of food, a bunch of prep work, and continuing with this whole 28 days of not going grocery shopping. We are preparing for a party, and there's going to be 8 to 12 people at this event. It's going to be a finger food event where everybody's bringing finger foods, multiples as it were even, and we, Andrea and I, we're going to be doing cheeseburger egg rolls, which you may or may not have seen before. We're going to do crab rangoons, clam dip, and I'm sure there was something else in there. I don't remember. It's probably not that important. Anyway, we've got to do a bunch of the prep work for it today so that we can, do the deep frying and all of that tomorrow. So, Andrea's up doing Andrea things. She'll be down shortly. And we're going to turn to and start a morning of prep work for the upcoming 2 days. I'm excited. Andrea just reminded me, deviled eggs. That was the last one. Told you she was smarter than me. When Andrea and I cook, we usually like to stay relatively protected, so we do aprons and such. And this is the one that I usually wear, except I've got some nephews who watch this channel, and they are young, they are impressionable, and I want to give them the best example possible. So because of that, we're gonna blur this out today.
I like your apron.
I like it too.
We got a lot of stuff on this counter, and I know I've talked about it a little bit already. But what's the list, and what are we doing?
All right, so we have clam dip. That goes with some ruffles. We have crab rangoons. That was originally a dip. We're gonna make them into actual rangoons. And then we have cheeseburger egg rolls. We're also going to make deviled eggs, but other than hard boiling the eggs today, that'll get done tomorrow. So I'm going to start by making clam dip. It's a thing my mom used to make all the time. Made it one year a couple years ago. Friends seemed to like it, so we're going to try it again, but we're going to make it a little better this time.
Fresh herbs. Fresh herbs are cool. We have a small herb garden here in our kitchen. It's actually in a bucket, but fresh herbs make all the difference. Way better than dry.
All right, so...
Wait. All they can hear is me opening a bag of chips. Okay, now you can go.
This recipe did not call for things like salt or pepper or really any seasoning, so I added onion powder, little MSG, some salt, some pepper. Probably going to add a little more Tabasco sauce, but I'm going to taste it first. I did not end up adding any of the clam juice yet. We'll find out.
Did you add the clams?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. I don't even like clams. I'm going to try this nonsense. I think it's good where it's at.
It needs a little bit
More salt?
acidic, like something acidic.
Maybe I'll put a drop of... Well, do you think it needs lemon juice or more Worcestershire?
A touch of Worcestershire, a touch of hot sauce. All right, clam dip's made. What's next?
The crab rangoons.
We are actively making the crab rangoons, and in there it's calling for 2 blocks of cream cheese. But I didn't want to break out 2 blocks of cream cheese because we said, let's make it better. So we're going to be using Boursin, which is still a cream cheese, but it's heavy on garlic and herbs and various other flavors that we're after today. So we always talk about how we'll make something and then we'll plus it up, and then everybody's like, oh my goodness, this food is great and amazing. That's why. It's because it's not just cream cheese, it's Boursin. So
The one part of this, Garen enjoys these crab rangoons, but the one part of this he can't do is this part.
Mayonnaise is vile.
So he's over there shredding the cheese while I do this part. So this is the inside of the crab rangoon. Now when it's supposed to be a dip, it calls for a buttload of cheese. And we were gonna put the cheese in here until we realized that that doesn't work when it's not a dip. So we're gonna leave it alone. We tasted it, it's great. We're gonna stuff wontons and fry it like this. And now I'll just have some shredded mozzarella in the house.
Andrea's been driving the show on her two big things thus far, but the one that I think I'm really good at is the cheeseburger egg rolls. So we're gonna crank those ones out next. It's gonna be beef and cheeseburger fixins that we're gonna cook up, make a filling. And then we're going to throw all of that into an egg roll wrapper. So that's next. Look at you getting all productive and stuff. What you doing?
I am making the crab rangoons. Well, I'm trying to. So a full scoop of this is it's a little heavy. It's not too bad. So I'm trying to go slightly less than one full scoop. But I'm forming them into the square shape.
The little purses. Ooh, fancy. That's crab rangoon. Andrea's in the background there. She's finishing up the crab rangoons and the cheeseburger egg rolls. And I am starting dishes because, you know, cleaning as you go is an important facet of working in the kitchen. So that's what I'm going to go do. What are you holding in your hand there?
This one is a malformed crab rangoon, but it's the taste tester. Shall we taste?
Let's taste. Creamy, cheesy, kind of tangy.
Yeah, it's everything you expect in a crab rangoon.
Awesome.
Just need some sweet and sour.
Right. But then what's all this?
Well, these are all the crab rangoons that aren't malformed, except for that one. And
I made that one.
Cheeseburger egg rolls that we've made 100 million times. Everybody loves cheeseburger egg rolls, so I don't have to taste test those.
Cool. And then we've also got the clam dip.
Yeah, that's in the fridge. It's just chilling.
And then we got a whole bucket of eggs behind you there.
Yep, for deviled eggs.
That's going to be deviled eggs.
And I need to make sweet and sour sauce, and I'm going to make burger dipping sauce.
Wonderful, wonderful.
The strangest thing is happening right now, and I am just, I don't want to say incredulous, but flabbergasted. It's 9:30, Christmas Day, 9:30 in the morning. Nobody's up. It's just me. Santa showed up last night. Gifts are here. Lily's still in bed. Andrew's still sound asleep. All three cats are out cold. I'm up. Coffee's made. And I found myself doing things like taking out the garbage and doing dishes and cleaning house. And I don't know what happened. This is weird. It's just weird. I can't, I don't even have words.
You did all along. Doing the mom thing. Oh, it's already been opened. Cool. Is this sheets?
Well, the initial festivities of presents and gifts and all that are over with, which is fantastic. We had a great time. And now we find ourselves prepping for a party. So I've got crab rangoons and egg rolls, and yeah, we're starting the deep frying, so this is exciting.
I mean, it would make sense to have a aftermath.
It would, and I think after they watch this part, they're gonna see us standing around a Christmas tree doing the thanks. But yeah, when you're entertaining people, it is really, really hard to stop everything that you're doing and whip out a camera. And documenting yesterday's, today's, these events of this video.
I still would have put the pan camera on a time lapse just to go across the party.
Even thinking along those
but
lines.
that's all right. Anyways,
but yeah,
we had a whole array of things. Like we made the things you saw. My friends brought cookies, no-bake cookies.
Yeah, we had no-bake cookies. There was ham, part of a spiral-sized ham, because you get to pick it up with your
cheese
fingers.
balls.
Yeah, there were multiple cheese balls. There was a shrimp cocktail showed up. There were little weenies. And obviously the egg rolls and the rangoons that we made, and then the various dips, and there were chips.
I made burger sauce, which is just like every condiment all mushed together.
All thrown into a jar until it's pink.
Yep.
And folks brought drinks, and folks brought food, and it was a really good spread.
But the thing the deviled eggs.
Yes.
Almost always get devoured, and they didn't this time because it wasn't the cheeseburger egg rolls either, although those got eaten too, and everybody told me how divine they were, despite the fact that they were made with 97% lean ground beef.
But it's because we put an assload of
cheese in it, yeah. The runaway thing was the crab rangoons.
I'm going to steal some of your water.
Okay. Which is just absolutely surprising to me because I feel like crab rangoons are a newer introduction into the things I've learned to make.
Yep.
And every time I make them, they're a little bit better, but I always think they're only okay. I mean,
yesterday's were...
people took them from our party to other parties.
So after we were done, now mind you, we made like 50 egg rolls and 50 or 60 rangoons. And after everything was said and done and people were cleaning up, it was, hey, can I take these? Hey, I'm going to another thing. Can these go with me? And we were getting messages on Facebook from people that we don't hang out with. And they're like, we had your rangoons and they were amazing. Oh my goodness, these cheeseburger egg rolls are life-changing. And that was surreal. I didn't expect that to happen.
You know, if my mom could see me now.
Right?
But a lot of people asked me for the recipe to the crab rangoons. And to be honest, this recipe came from TikTok and it's a dip. And I modified it to make it a filling instead. I left out a lot of the extra cheese that would have made it a dip. I added boursin and took away regular cream cheese. I added spices that weren't listed. I salted it. There was no salt in that recipe.
You plussed it up like crazy.
And I'll probably, except for the footage, never be able to recreate that again.
Oh, yeah, no, that's not going to happen again.
But I told people, here's the original recipe and here's the changes I made.
Okay, so there's this thing, and this happened in my family. I grew up, and there was a situation where my mother would make food, snacks, treats, whatever, and people would say, hey, what's the recipe to this? And she would start with a recipe and then plus it up on her own. But she would give them the recipe, but then leave out like a crucial ingredient. Here's this 7-layer dip. But then she wouldn't tell them about the extra cumin and the extra lime that she threw in there. Or, hey, I made this mac and cheese, but then leave out the fact that there was, say, Worcestershire sauce in there. And they would go and make this recipe and then come back and go, how come mine's not as good as yours? And then there'd be a Dr. Evil moment. And she goes, I don't know. But that caused this weird divide, whereas I'm talking to my brothers and sisters is, do we hold on to our recipes or do we hand them out?
Well, so I don't know that there's any recipe that's wholly my own.
Okay.
Every recipe that I've made has a basis somewhere else, be it from a cookbook, a TikTok video I saw, or I feel like every food has been invented.
Yes.
And no recipe belongs to me.
Correct.
So every time I modify something, does it make it mine? Not necessarily.
It's a ship of Theseus kind of question.
So I don't mind sharing my recipes.
I don't either. So for what it's worth, I do not subscribe to my mother's concept of
obviously
Dr. Evil.
We record ourselves cooking
we
it.
do.
So
yeah. I am personally of the belief that if I have a recipe and somebody wants it, here, take my recipe. Absolutely. Try and make it better. And if you can, tell me what you did so that I can build off of that as well.
I like that people think we can cook. Like, seriously, my mom would be like flabbergasted.
Right?
Because when I was a kid, she'd be like, here, let me show you how to make this. And I'd be like, nah, I don't want to learn how to cook. And she'd be like, what are you going to do when you grow up? And I'd sassily say, I'm going to hire a maid and a chef. And I just married one.
Feeling called out.
But it turns out I enjoy it. Not only do I enjoy it, but I have a nose for it.
You do. You're really good at it.
I like to think so.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd want somebody walking around a party saying, this is Garen's recipe. And maybe it's not as good as what I cooked. Because I don't know. Maybe it's a reputation thing. This is a point of discussion down below. Not necessarily right here, right now. But tell us what your thoughts are on that. Because I'm legitimately curious.
And do you share your recipes? Or do you like to be the one who gets recipes shared with?
So that's just a question there. Party yesterday. Mm-hmm. What was your favorite thing you ate?
I really like the cheese ball.
Really? Better than everything else we did?
Well, I wasn't feeling super great yesterday, so eating a ton of fried food wasn't sitting well with me. I definitely ate some of my own crab rangoons, and I thought they were great. And I also tried to eat a cheeseburger egg roll, but by then I wasn't feeling so great.
Yeah.
So mostly I stuck to crackers and cheese.
Okay.
I also like the little. I love little
Smokies.
Like they're just so good.
I want to say that the Rangoons were my absolute favorite. That was where it was at for me. And then, so we were fed and watered. What was your favorite drink yesterday?
Oh, I like the elder bubbles. I do enjoy elder bubbles.
That's a champagne cocktail, isn't it?
Yeah, it's champagne, elderflower liqueur, and a little bit of raspberry flavored vodka.
Yeah. And
it's not even like it's mostly champagne.
Yeah. As dumb as this sounds, a bunch of the guys, we wound up sitting around the kitchen table where we're at now. And my lovely wife gave me 2 bottles of very decent whiskey. And so we did whiskey pours yesterday. And it wasn't even about let's go drink. It was let's sample different whiskeys. And
Oh, did you open them both?
we did, and they were really, really good.
The sherry one wins every time.
Oh yeah. We picked up some Courage and Conviction sherry cask and some Cuvée cask, and that went over really well. So.
We also tried a bottle of Krug for Christmas Eve, you and I.
We did, which that was surprisingly good.
Well, the first few sips were kind of like, do I like this?
And then the third,
then
fourth,
I
and
did.
fifth sips, we liked this.
So that was a interesting thing to try.
That was. But anyway, so that's our review of our party that we threw, and it was great.
And the aftermath gain of 2 pounds.
Oh my word. Okay, so now we're gonna go back to the past. Present? I don't know. You're about to see us standing around a Christmas tree. It's gonna be really cool. Anyway.
That's a pretty looking tree. So, party kicked off and did what it was supposed to do today. But the big drawback that we had with that was that with that many people in the house, it was really, really hard to find any time to really document what we were doing. So, you're going to get a monologue instead, probably. We're sorry for the lack of evidence for today's events, but happy holidays to everybody. Thanks for being here. Like, subscribe, all that fun nonsense, and hey, keep paying attention. More good stuff's coming.